We made it through Inktober. Absolute insanity. I've never done anything like this. This is the most I think I've drawn probably in the last decade, all in 1 month, but it was fantastic. Day 22, the word was expensive, and I didn't really have anything for this. The only thing I could come up with was Banksy's little drawing that was sold at auction and then got shredded as soon as it was auctioned and doubled in value, so I just drew my own interpretation of that one. Day 23, the word was muddy, and originally I was going to do a Himba tribe member. They're the African tribe that uses the red mud and has like the muddy dreadlocks, and they're really cool pictures, but it'd be fairly red as a picture would go, so it wasn't as exciting. So I went with the Amazon tribes instead in their face painting. Absolutely loved how this one came out. I think it's definitely one of the best pieces of the whole month, and the overall looks just fantastic. The way the red goes with the gray, I loved working on it. I loved the way it came together. Fantastic piece, really. For 24, the word was chop, and I didn't want to do anything with a knife or anything like that. And the only thing I could really think of was iconic Mr. Austin Powers and his judo chop attack. So I decided to do another portrait of Mr. Myers himself. This one's a little bit more stylized than the portraits I usually do, but regardless, I think it came out pretty good. And yeah, an easy piece to work on, a different interpretation of the word. I really like it. For 25, the word was prickly, and I was going to try and do a portrait of a cactus woman, but honestly, I just didn't really have a lot of time or didn't want to put a ton of effort in it. So instead, I went with my spirit animal, the Grinch. Me and him, like peas in a pod, really, holding a cactus. He is a prickly personality, as you can see in the picture, and it was very easy drawing. I don't really like the white on it. I think it's a little bit too white, but other than that, I think it's a quick, easy one, and it looks good enough. Day 26 was the start of the Halloween weekend, so the next three were all really rushed because I didn't have a lot of time and a lot of party and stuff to do. I was originally going to go for Stretchy here for Mr. Fantastic as John Krasinski because it would be great if he was Mr. Fantastic. I just didn't have the time, so instead I went with Luffy from One Piece. He's a Stretchy kind of guy. It's a quick sketch. It's an easy sketch. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look bad. It's a decent drawing. For 27, I believe the word was thunder. I'm not 100% sure. Again, the obvious one for me, loving portraits, would have been to do a portrait of Chris Hemsworth's Thor, but again, no time, really hungover, had to get to another party. So instead, we just went with Mjolnir and then lightning and then some mountainous thing in the background. I think it turned out all right, really, considering I had very little hopes for this being a good picture. I think it turned out decently. For day 28, the word was gift, and I saw some absolutely fantastic pictures on Instagram about this. I came home from a whole weekend. I had very little time. It was like 10 when I started on this, and I thought I'd do Shazam with like lightning in the background. He got the gift of the gods. That's why he's that way. I hate the way this turned out. I thought it'd be a lot cooler, but it's a missed chance. I'll try something like this again. Maybe try to do a little bit better next time. A little bit more time and effort into it. And then just like that, we were on to the final 3 days, and it really was, we were on the home stretch at that point. That Monday, the 29th, the word was double. So to do something with twins, I think was the obvious choice for a lot of people. A lot of people went with a light and a dark version, as did I. I loved working on this. It wasn't as easy as I thought it would be, but I loved the way it came out, even though it's a little bit simple. The one on the right was the easy one because it's a standard drawing, but the one on the left, to do the colors inverted, it's really easy on the computer. You just select it, hit invert, and it does it all for you. But to make your mind draw it the other way around with the colors, it was flabbergasting from time to time. I was like, I'm doing this wrong. Regardless, I like the way it came out. The water separation in the middle could be a little bit more dynamic. But other than that, I think it was a fun piece, and I'm happy with the result. Then for day 30, the word was Jolt, and for some reason I just couldn't put Fallout out of my head. I know it's like Nuka-Cola, it's not Jolt Cola, but I just couldn't shake it, and so I went with a Fallout drawing. It kind of took on a life of its own. I was just going to draw the Fallout character and then all the chems around it, because when I play Fallout, I just always do all the chems and just go berserk. And then it took on a kind of a life of its own. I went the Pip-Boy around it, and it's very simple in its setup, but I do like the way it came together, very organic. And just like that, we were at the final day, and since it all started with a portrait, obviously I was going to end it with a portrait, and the word for the day would have been slice, and nobody slices and dices like Mr. Gerald of Rivia, also known as The Witcher. Great games, great character, so I thought, why not do a portrait of him? The base I used for the portrait is Nikolai Coster-Waldau, Jaime Lannister for people that watch Game of Thrones. I think it's a really good drawing. It's a really good portrait. The only thing I think I kind of pooched is the hair. It kind of looks a little bit weird on his head. Well, live and learn. Regardless, it's a good drawing and it was good finish, and I felt a real solid sense of accomplishment when I finished this one. I just felt like, wow, I actually stuck with it for 31 days, which isn't easy because October's a very busy month. So many people getting birthdays, Halloween parties, all that sort of stuff. So I'm really happy I stuck with it. And it was a great experience. I loved seeing everyone's art on Instagram every day. People that stuck with it. It's just fantastic, and I'm definitely planning on doing it again next year. So that wraps her up for the whole month. I hope some people who watched this enjoyed it, and if you do like it, feel free to drop a like, subscribe, all those things. Drop a comment. I'll be adding some more videos of stuff I have done around the apartment in October or before October. Just haven't gotten around to videos to it, so stay tuned. That'll be coming up, hopefully like twice a week or so. And I'll be doing more stuff, just maybe not as much ink stuff because that's not really a forte of mine. But there'll be more interesting videos on the channel, and I'll try to keep as much art posted on Instagram as I can as well. Just trying to keep this going.